Welcome Trinidad and Tobago, welcome to the Frontline. I'm your host alongside Sarah Navi.
Good night, everyone.
And we are sitting in tonight for Janice as well as Felicia. Yes, they are on their own little missions right now. Well, actually Janice is trying to get better and Felicia is on PEP's business.
A different kind of getting better too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, most definitely. And tonight we are here with Mr. Christoph Samlal, as well as Anthony Pollidore. Christopher represents the San Juan Barataria constituency, which is he's the caretaker for, as well as Mr. Pollidore would be the caretaker for Morvant. Yes?
Right, yes.
Laventilles, correct.
Right, so tonight we'll just have, as we have two Anthonys, this is Tony for tonight.
Hi.
And then we have Anthony. So when you all, we have the phone lines open tonight, and so when you all want to direct questions, you can say either Tony, Christoph, Sarah, Anthony. We will know who you're talking to. The number is 4694349. Right, so just have that earmarked until we give the go-ahead for when we're ready to take calls.
Yes, most definitely. So we are going to be asking little questions. We're going to be identifying a couple of policies as well. And we're going to be talking to our caretakers for Barataria as well as Laventil. And, you know, try to identify exactly what's happening on the ground there and, you know, have discussion. That's what we're about tonight, most definitely. So, Sarah, you want to start?
So, yeah, we're going to start with, and as you know, with our first circulating document, 21 Policies at a Glance. This is what we want to guide the national discussion in terms of what the Progressive Empowerment Party is concerned with in terms of the national politics. So tonight we're first going to highlight, on the document is number 3, but it is titled First World Law Enforcement. And with that we say, engage the services of foreign law enforcement, internal affairs and investigation teams to clean up the police service of corruption and criminal activity. Establish continuous training and assessment inclusive of mandatory drug and polygraph testing. We are also saying to incentivize law enforcement with bonuses and rewards for exemplary service. And finally, we want to establish promotion policy based on merit and instructed by knowledge and skill development as well as unblemished records. So, Christoph, what do you have to say about that?
Right. So, in terms of this, one of the biggest problems in both San Juan and Barataria is that the police force is very corrupted. Everyone who lives there knows that. Everyone who lives there knows where all the drug blocks are, where the prostitution takes place. Everything that goes wrong, who commits crimes, we know everything. Problem is, the police there know as well.
Okay.
Right?
You say that's true?
Yeah, that's true, because they are totally aware
Right.
of what's going on. You know, they're totally aware of, like Christoph is saying, you know, they're aware of these areas. They know what they are. They know.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
So how are we to end it if the people whose job it is to enforce the law knows where it is and nothing takes place?
All right. Well, that's one of the main reasons why I want the policy where, you know, we're looking at first world law enforcement. And unfortunately, you know, it's hard to be able to trust the powers that be here on the ground, and is why we recommend that we invite foreign law enforcement agencies which would not be tainted by any type of corruption or underhanded business going on the island, as we would know. And again, for them to be able to clean the police service up. In fact, not just the police service, but the protective service on the whole.
Right.
Because we're looking at Coast Guard, we're looking at the Army, we're looking at you know, basically the powers that be that protects our nation, whether it be the state or whether it be the citizenry. So, again, having foreign law enforcement, such as whether it be the FBI or you know, a Canadian-based entity, or even a UK-based entity, again, is for them to put their systems in place and be able to at least identify, you know, the main players in the game right now.
Right, but what I mean, as we actually have the caretakers here, how is it, as you all are saying, you all have both emphasized that yes, the police are aware of the situations.
Right.
Now, could you give us like some examples from the constituencies?
Okay, so for example, while I walk around my constituency, because I get to know my boundaries as we go along.
Right.
you see where known drug blocks are.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I did was go to the police station and speak to one of the officers there.
Mm-hmm.
We had a kind of one-on-one conversation. So he let me know of this time he arrested someone for marijuana use.
Mm-hmm.
The guy called the name of his superior and he said, that don't cut it, and arrested the guy, right?
Uh-huh.
And he told me that same evening, when the same superior who was named came,
Mm-hmm.
he was released. So he knows what he arrested the guy and wanted to charge him for.
Right.
He might be one of the good officers who
Right.
ain't brought out as yet
Right.
and trying to do his job. But the problem is now superiority.
Right.
They call the shots at the end of the
And
day.
this is something that you literally
Heard from an
interact
officer's
and-
mouth.
Right.
This is not from outside, this is within the station.
No, Anthony,
Wow.
is this how does it?
Yeah, I have a perfect example. What happened last month?
Right.
An elderly gentleman, because like I said, I know most of the people in my constituency. And he told me, well, there is a particular house on the street that a lot of activity, and when I say activity, I mean criminal activity, takes place. And he told me countless number of times we've called the police,
Mm-hmm.
and they have not yet arrived.
Mm-hmm.
So just by that example, that will tell you that are they involved
Right.
with what's going on,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
right? And word on the ground is everybody know. If we know, I heard someone say, if we know 3 police officers, 2 of them are corrupt.
Right. So we get in the sense here of mistrust and suspicion, with the people who are supposed to protect us. And I think that that's one of the most tragic things that we as citizens have to encounter. And it really is unfortunate that this is something that you all both, share.
Well, I believe it's across the country, that's
Yeah.
why we needed to clean up the
that's
entire forces,
Yeah, it is. It's every constituency, every
Independently
precinct,
as well.
every police outpost. I strongly believe there's some level of corruption going on. There's some level of underhanded business happening. Again, Trinidad and Tobago, we are not saying that we are painting the entire TTPS with a broad stroke brush. That's not the case. But
Right.
at the end of the day, because there are good police officers in the
Yes.
force,
Definitely.
Yeah.
across the board, within Army, within Coast Guard, what have you. But the
Right.
point of the matter is that there are key elements within these security services that are holding, top portfolios and is calling shots. And again, when we wonder why we don't have the level of transparency or accountability, obviously it has to be someone in upper ranks that's able to block and not have that level of transparency.
And so that's true, because look at the total day of policing that we had a couple of years ago.
Right.
No, for that to happen, the senior officers had to say, well, okay, we're going out, we're going to do roadblocks, and they locked down the entire country.
Right.
And up to date, no one has been able, no one has that answer. No one
Right.
has,
Right.
no one
Yeah.
does
No one has
not-
been held
Yeah,
accountable.
Yeah, because
You know what I mean?
I remember being stuck in that traffic myself, and
terrible.
it was terrible. People's cars were, needed fixing. People needed to go to the hospital, but they were in a gridlock, so they held the country hostage. And they are the ones who have to protect and serve. If you read, what's on their vehicles, if you read what's on their uniform, right? So, definitely. First of all, law enforcement, and we don't mean it just from the point of view in terms of we actually inheriting or recruiting. It's obvious that there needs to be a cultural shift and a change in mentality,
Right.
and also we just need to have some form of governing leadership to give the green light to let good police law enforcement reign in this country.
Yes.
And that's where the Progressive Empowerment Party comes in. So let's move on to another one of the policies that
Yeah.
we wanted to,
Yeah.
to highlight. And on the paper it is number 11, and it is clean, reliable, pipe-borne water for all. Bear with me briefly. The Progressive Empowerment Party says that we want to decentralize water management and distribution to all 41 constituencies through the establishment of constituency-owned and operated purification and distribution plants. And these will be responsible for sourcing their own supply through bulk transmission, wells, rainwater retention dams, and ponds or desalination. And what we're saying is that this plan would quickly allow all citizens to benefit from a real, reliable, clean source of water 24/7. Now, in the Laventille East constituency, Anthony.
Yes.
And I mean, you were saying that you personally have some, beef with this issue here.
Yes, because we like I was, when we had a discussion earlier, I was saying that for the week we haven't had a proper supply of water.
For the week?
For the week, yeah. And for the last couple of weeks it's been coming 2 days. And when it comes 2 days, it's so dirty, you can't do anything.
Oh, God.
Brown water.
Brown water, Morby as they call it. So, I mean, something, the Progressive Involvement Party, we have that plan,
Right.
to solve that water problem in each and every constituency.
Now, how is it that you all are coping right now? How is it that the residents, because you're saying that you know a lot of people, in your constituencies. So how is it that you all are trying to?
It is a battle. I think if I was selling these water tanks, and I'll be making a mint because
Of course.
I mean, everyone I know have one. If you don't have one, you have a drum, you have something that collects the water.
Right.
So in eventuality that when it goes, you have a backup. But a week and 2 weeks, how much water can you actually store?
Exactly.
Right.
And in a dry season period as well.
In a dry season.
Yeah.
Right, and the thing is, okay, so, and Christoph, you being so close to Laventille East, would you say that some of our area has this issue?
Terrible issue as well. Yeah, we don't have a continuous supply of water as yet,
Uh-huh.
which I mean they've been promising since forever, as well as the water doesn't come clean. It's either white with chlorine
Yeah.
or brown with day. Right? So, I mean, all the systems have to change. Your tanks always get blocked up. It's always an issue just because we can't get clean water, much less continuous water.
Right.
I live on a hill,
Right,
and San Juan has a lot of hills as well.
right.
So water supply there is even worse. It only goes up so much, so a lot of people have to fill water, take it up with trucks
lower
or
down the hill.
by kegs or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we don't get a regular supply, even less regular supply on the hill. So we have to have like 6 tanks. Just
Six
to,
tanks?
6 tanks, just because you never know when it's going to go on. We've been out of water enough times to just say
I agree. I
as
totally
much
agree.
tanks as you could take,
Totally agree, yeah.
So what is life like in terms of cooking and washing and
Well,
living?
like I
as
said,
a-
just like you have to run your home like you run a business. You have to prioritize in terms of maybe I could skip washing for this week and see how far I can stretch. I mean, this is how far that we have to go.
In 2018?
in
2018.
2018.
Now, this is how far we have to go, and it only begs to the failure of successive governments over time. I mean, enough is enough. What are we going to do?
It's totally amazing. And Trinidad and Tobago, keep in mind, please, leaders that simply has not been able to figure it out. Water, clean, pipe-borne water. That's all we're saying. How is it an island surrounded by water with over half of the year that consists of a major rainy season?
And we get so much flood, so we're surrounded by water that we cannot use,
Right.
right? And I mean, the amount of unrest that would have on the impact of citizens, and I mean, Anthony,
Yeah, I think it was last year. I could be wrong. Last year, around this time, we had a major protest on Lady Young, and it was for the same problem for water. I mean, they burned stuff. It caused traffic, and it was the people. When you reach a certain point,
Yes.
frustrated,
you're
they're fed
frustrated,
up.
you're tired, you're dirty.
But-
You can't cook, you can't wash. I mean, and the representatives that we have. I laugh sometimes because that's the only time you see them.
Oh.
That is the only time that you see them. You saw the minister himself. He came down, he spoke, and he said to them, "This is not the way." And in between the process, I heard someone say, "Well, what do we have to do?" I know what they have to do.
What is it?
We have to vote for the Progressive Empowerment Party.
Well said.
Right.
Yeah, and
That's
I mean, we saying this not because of we trying to curry favor or anything. I mean, everybody know we love curry, but we actually come with well thought out plans and ideas. And before we even launch, and within our first year, we actually consulted with professionals, and these are people who, apart from being professionals, they have bleeding hearts to know that people cannot live and function and be, citizens, to be hungry and dirty all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, how can people live with themselves? Just because they have water. And I mean, then they think that I remember when a certain MP was saying that he was astonished that water never locked up when he visited another country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can why not call this MP's name? Huh?
why is he astonished? I mean,
Well, this is it.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's my
This is
issue
it.
rather than the person. Is the
Exactly.
fact
This
that
is
he
it.
is astonished. Do you
it's,
understand?
This is it. This
it's
is
so
it.
far-fetched to believe that it is possible to
Right.
have
Right.
a regular supply of
I mean, you're telling me that, like Sarah said, we're in 2018. How is it possible for us not to be able to have that environment already?
Yes.
We're talking about water. Eh? This is pipes,
Right.
pumps, and a simple micromanagement of the nation's water supply. That's it.
And we have WASA, and WASA is allocated money, and then they had their own ministry, and then they have Minister of Public Utilities. Do you understand? We have MPs here, we have local government working in here. The amount of representatives, right, that we have dealing with this issue, and nothing is getting done.
No
If
solution.
this was a private company, you think a CEO would handle this?
No.
And we are all the CEOs of our country, but the thing is, that's a secret. They don't want us to know that. They don't want us to believe that. And that's why we are here. So whether or not the Progressive Empowerment Party even goes forward, or that's up to you. But that's what Frontline is about. That's what having Christoph and Tony, myself and Anthony here, Marvin directed. We have our audience, tonight. We have people here who are concerned, and even they want to hear the issues. They're actually coming out now to see, what Frontline is about, even though we actually transmitting to you all. So it means that the people are waking up. But aside from that, coming off of the fact that we have dirty, unhappy, hungry citizens, we know why national security is one of the major policies that needs to be addressed.
Right.
And that's number 2, on our 21 policies at a glance. And it says here, we plan to establish the radar-connected security platforms 3 miles out at sea to create a virtual wall around TNT, manned by law enforcement professionals and equipped with fast attack boats and interceptor helicopter gunships that would enforce stop and search for all marine craft entering our waters. This will bring an end to the illegal trades in guns, drugs, and human cargo. And both of you, all Christoph and Anthony, were talking about guns, drugs, and human cargo as a problem. So let it rip. Go ahead. Take your time.
It's real.
Yeah,
Christoph,
let them know.
Right.
let you start. Because when I start, it ain't go done. It ain't go done.
Sawa suffers from all of them: guns, drugs, human cargo. I mean, again, as I start with my constituency map, on the boundary. So anybody wants to do their research could go. The ABC website actually highlights this place that I'm referring to as well. So go on the ABC website. There's a place.
This is an international news agency, isn't it?
Yeah.
ABC.
EBC, the
EBC.
Elections and
Oh,
Boundaries Commission.
Okay. I thought I could have sworn you said
No,
ABC. I'm
EBC.
sorry.
You go and check the boundaries of San Juan, Barataria.
Right.
On the northern end, you'll see
Right.
a little place highlighted on the website.
Right.
They are infamous for prostitution.
Okay.
Infamous for prostitution. You go anywhere, you name that place, they know what you're talking about, right? The same prostitutes live and reside right on that same street in the worst of living conditions. Held there against their will. This is information from people
That you actually got
deal with,
talking
right?
from them.
Yes, I know where they live and stuff, right?
Okay.
So, the human trafficking is an issue, and then on that same street, there's a huge cocaine problem as well. So, if you walk there at any time of the day, you'll always see vagrants, homeless, lighting up their pipes right there in the middle of the street. That's within boundaries of a lot of schools,
Right.
So
that's
while
true.
during the day they mightn't be as out front with the drugs and the prostitution that goes on,
Mhm.
it still exists. The school children still have to
Walk
pass by,
yeah.
interact with that
and
every
the
day.
children know, the children know what's
And that's the
happening
thing,
there
they're
too.
growing up knowing this
Yeah,
now, right?
yeah.
They're not ignorant to what goes on around them.
Correct.
They're smarter now than we were
That's
or
right.
ever
Yes.
dreamt of being,
Yeah, they're being
So
exposed
they
to
know
a
what's
lot
going
more.
on, and Sawa has a huge problem with that. In the north, there's like a retail market for drugs, and then
Retail
south,
market, you say?
yeah, that's where the users go,
Okay.
and then to the south of the constituency, there's the bigger quantities of
So there's
Wholesale.
yeah. We have retail and wholesale
Wow.
of these issues here, right? So we could do so much and target the people who using it, but then there'll always be more coming in. So the main thing is to shut it off, shut down the borders and stop bringing it in,
Right.
No, sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
But just to add to what Christoph is saying, the drugs I've seen, and I'm diagnosing to a little family something. I had a very close uncle. If you have not seen someone you love and someone that you know since you were born, hooked on drugs, you will never understand what's right. And he was one of my favorite uncles. They would tell me I look like him. Sometimes they'll say, Christoph, it's all no shucks. Not Christopher, Anthony. You know, and I saw him go from being a football star because he was really talented to nothing. And when I go through my constituency and others, because I'm familiar with San Juan also, you know, you see, it's heartbreaking to see, you know, and you know, I don't want to be, you know, I want to use the term, you know, the black male. We are becoming statistic, and I'm saying we because I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
We are becoming numbers on a chart. And something needs to be done, you know, in terms of drugs are coming in. But we know that, you know, quote unquote, big business is behind a lot of what is happening. But something needs to be done because it's a sad thing to see.
Correct.
Now, apart from the stress of taking into drugs, I mean, it highlights the fact that you're saying that they go into drugs, it brings into the issue of unemployment.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? And how is it in terms of when you all work constituencies? How is it? Because recently we saw the Minister of Finance talk about the unemployment rate, and that article was met with a lot of skepticism. So, when you all walk the streets and the
Right.
people that you all meet,
Right.
what is it like in terms of?
But unemployment is, I think, you know, when these ministers, and someone gave me a joke, you know, don't ever use the word honorable when you speak about them. You know, these when they speak, it's like, give me a break. Unemployment has been an issue for a long time.
Yeah.
All constituencies, unemployment. I mean, on 12 o'clock in the day, you could walk, you could probably count the amount of people just sitting doing nothing.
Right.
You know, and you know, we have our policies in place to deal with unemployment, you know, amongst the constituencies, and you know, Trinidad, I want to urge you to, you know, we can't look at voting in terms of party lines. We have to make sense of our votes now. It's no longer red and yellow. I would like to say it's orange now, but
Right.
you know what I mean. You know,
Right.
you know, we have to vote with sense now. We have to think about it now.
Right.
It's not only just we're just going out and we're for it, and we're not benefiting from it.
You're 100% correct, and you know, I would go as far as even saying, I mean, I know that we are forging for betterment through using the mechanism of the PEP.
Right.
But as a nation, we need to stand for the red, white, and black.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, because at the end of the day as well, whether you vote for the PEP or not, and God willing, we do get into office, we would be treating you, even though you did not vote for the PEP, the same way as the citizens that did.
Exactly.
And that is what we're talking about. You deal with the country on a holistic level. No citizen must be left behind. And again, we are all regular people, you know, and you know what it is drew us to the PEP? This. The policies. Wasn't about Mr. Alexander. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Mr. Alexander is the one who basically educated us. I have to say that it was university I was sitting down looking at when I listened to Mr. Alexander, as well as, you know, I'm feeling to myself as if the man was in my mind, because he was pulling out a lot of things that I myself was seeing. Christopher, Sarah, Anthony, everyone.
Right.
We everything that Philip says, we have at one point or next said the exact same thing. And it's why we support this cause.
And that's why we want people to see the Progressive Empowerment Party as an opportunity where you can volunteer to channel your feelings of helplessness and frustration.
Correct.
And then your good heart and your good intentions to try to improve the areas around you. And that's where Christoph and Anthony, they have stepped up. And that's the function of caretakers. And if it is that you want to learn more of the role of a caretaker, you can reach out to Shari Wilson on Facebook, and she's the head of mobilization. And then you can also reach out to either anybody from the Progressive Empowerment Party page. You send us a message, you call us at 347-4737, you reach out to Philip himself, Felicia Holder, Trini Mamu, Janice, and myself. And I like where the conversation is going in
Right.
in terms of you all actually talked about unemployment, and you all brought up the idea of you saying that people sitting on the streets
Right.
12 p.m. during the day.
Twiddling
So the
thumbs.
thing is, they're not home
No.
because all I see in them,
Right.
they're on the streets, right?
Right.
So to me, this kind of trigger off. Well, you know what? Now we're talking homelessness.
Right.
So you see how much things coming up, just from one simple, basic analysis of trying to figure out what are some of the problems in your constituency. So, am I, right in talking about homelessness? As
Well,
a
for
problem?
San Juan, we have a huge homelessness problem.
Right.
I saw that video you did, bro.
Well, I was just one of the guys who I spoke to. So, I mean, in his story, he left home from living in Toko
Right.
at the age of like 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
Ran away from home because it was an abusive household. And decided, I'm just going to wing it on my own. I'm going to try living on my own. Anything could be better than the home I come from, right? So from that, he ran away. I believe he lived in Arima for a while. And then he came up to San Juan and decided to remain there, right? He does a lot of work with the corporation and stuff. He does his street sweeping. He does the garbage trucks. Anything he could get a hustle to do. He's also known very well in the market for helping market vendors and stuff.
Okay.
Because, I mean, a lot of them are old elderly ladies or whatnot. They can't tote the goods. So they hire these men to move the stuff. These are people helping hold our society together.
Yeah.
They clear the garbage, yet we leave them to sleep in the garbage.
Yeah, that's made me so vexed because you actually hear about people who have good intentions, who actually want to work and willing to work, and it's like you finding them on the street. I mean, all they don't say that I nicer, but all they don't know and I vex enough. Right. That's how we
I'm sorry.
that's how we have the water breaks here. But Anthony, you are saying too, because I mean Lavender East is very close to Sama Barataria, but talk to us about homelessness.
Homelessness, I apologize if I sigh
Yeah.
at every issue because we've been living with the issues for a long time.
It's never ending.
It's like a never ending. It's like a rash.
Yeah.
It can never go. Homelessness. I'll give you another story. I was born in Porter Spain.
Right.
And I remember coming from school every day. We had, and to add what you're saying, some of these people on the streets they're just trying to get by. And this guy, his name was, I don't want to call the name of the product, but every evening we used to pass for, and he used to give us one of that, and that was the highlight of my day. That was the highlight of my sister's and our day. And he was just like I living on the street. Good intentions. Anybody wanted help, he would help. These are the people that are on the street, people that we just, we left behind.
Right.
And we have to, I know for a fact that the Progressive Empowerment Party has a plan to deal with homelessness.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
There is.
Right.
In Sawa, for example, homelessness is what brought me into the PEP actually. Because, I was working along with this lady named Miss Carol Lynch. She does a charity for the homeless and needy.
In San Juan.
In San Juan.
Yes, I know.
Right? She used the old wooden
Anthony
structure.
says he knows of her too.
Right. She uses the old wooden structure behind the police station to distribute clothes. She lets people take a shower. She could teach you little crafts and stuff if you really want to learn something. And once she has the raw materials, something to eat.
Right.
She's the only person I know of in San Juan who helps take care of the poor and needy, right? And as of the end of last month, they evicted her from the premises as
Who
well.
evicted her?
Well, that building, according to her, at first it fell on the San Juan constituency. So she had permission from Fort Can to use it. After the last election, the boundaries shifted, fell on the St. Joseph constituency.
Right.
And then she did not get her permission renewed to use there, and was also given a notice to evict the place.
So she is providing a free
She
community.
dedicated her entire life to provide for these people.
That was not funded by the government.
Not funded by the government. Every day she goes to that place with whatever she could get together. If she could get some food stuff just to cook a soup. And whatever clothes and stuff that's donated, she has there.
So where is she now?
So now she operates right outside of San Juan Market, near Royal Castle, under a tent. Still going at it, still strong, trying to help out. But they're making it worse for her. So my vision actually, when I started working with her, I thought to myself, that location and that building that she was using is perfect for a rehab center for the homeless. Because I mean, it's right behind the police station. Nobody going to be doing their drugs. Right
Yeah.
behind the police station.
Yeah.
And then the building right after the police station is the health center. So I mean, if you're homeless, you're obviously going to end up with a lot of ailments and stuff.
Yeah.
Close location, you know?
Yeah.
It's perfect, it's centralized, and through that, we could put in certain policies again to help them reintegrate back into society. So for example, most of them don't have ID cards. They're not living anywhere. Right? So if they go to ID card office, what they're going to put as their place of residence, right? And that's one of the biggest hindrances to them getting a job.
Yes, 'cause they
Right?
don't-
Even if you get a minimum wage job, you need to at least have a form of ID.
And then they can't be citizens because they can't exercise the right to vote because, you know, you need an ID card to do so. And I
Don't pay
mean,
taxes, for example.
Right.
Don't need an ID card.
Right.
so
You know?
yeah, and that's why the Progressive Empowerment Party is like our number one policy, and listed as number one is home ownership for all. And we know that, you know, for those who are unemployed at this point, they would need some support to get themselves on the feet, which is where the social development aspect comes in. But once we get them there, and we also have the right now we have the pre-job registration database
Right.
that we have
Exactly.
going, so that once we become Progressive Empowerment Party comes into power, we will actually track these people to actually find them employment. And with that, they will be able to have access to our policy of zero interest, zero deposit, zero interest for 30 years for first-time homeowners, which they will be for up to $1.5 million, allowing even minimum wage earners to own a home. And obviously this is where the catchment comes in. And I mean, earlier this week and sometime last week, it's like Philip was talking about how you could actually buy a house, you know, in China, right? A small room, and it's like a prefab,
right.
and you bring it down and you set up shop here.
You bring it
So-
in a container and you put a foundation and wrap in a day. You have a
Right.
whole house.
So when we fix up the corruption that goes along with customs and all these clearances and stuff like that, is that we actually giving people some quick options to actually have a roof over their head,
Right.
right? And I mean, it just getting me really mad and really vexed and sad at the same time. Like like a real woman right now is like mixed up with real emotions and things right now, because I don't know how to be and to transmit, you know. So I don't even know, like, what is it? How are we feeding back in terms of the live responses, you know?
Yes, it's going. They
But what
always
I-
saying keep at them.
One thing I just wanted to insert there real quickly was, even though the policy says for first-time homeowners being able to qualify for up to $1.5 million, it does not mean that as a minimum wage earner you're going to qualify for $1.5 million. That is the threshold in where we say we're going to put a cap as to how much you can actually get. But again, with that review by the financial institution is the ones that's going to determine whether you will be able, or we would create a system of sorts that
Yes.
would be able to help determine if you are eligible to get that. Obviously, it would depend on how much you're actually making to be able to be approved for $1.5 million. But we have been doing research for starter homes that start at $100,000, $250,000, $400,000, and so on. So, thank you.
So and while Tony's taking a break, we halfway through the mark here. So if you wanna call us, you know, you can call us at 469-4349, and you could send a comment or direct question specifically to anybody from the panel.
Yeah, give a call.
Yeah, 469-4349. So. Sorry to cut you, but you.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. Went down the wrong hole. Nearly choke on set, yes. But anyway, no. But it's real. Everything that's happening in Trinidad and Tobago is so real. And again, it's just really impossible statistically to think that we have been doing this for over 50 plus years and we just have no solution in sight.
Right.
Look, aside from every other political entity that has come onto our shores, there has been no one that broke down the policies and how it works the way that PEP has done it. And again, any political party could take these policies and implement it. Guess what? Then we have no purpose for PEP. Then I could go on to my own happy, merry way
Right.
and live my life safe, secure, with hope and opportunity, and in the paradise that, you know, we all know that Trinidad is. It's just the powers that be is not allowing it to. You know what I mean? So again, PEP is here for the people. This is your party. And come down again, 19 San Juan Avenue, noon every Saturday. Make it happen, Trinidad and Tobago, because this is for you. You want to make sure that no one is in corruption and things are done the way it's supposed to be done. Get yourself involved.
Right, and that's exactly what Anthony did.
That's right.
You know, so
that's
Anthony,
right. And Christoph.
Yeah, so but I mean, you came on what, about a few weeks?
Yeah,
we met you.
Yeah, about 4 weeks ago. Yeah, I came down Saturday evening. I mean, when I came, it was, you know, and I made a statement, and I said, you know, it's like coming home. You know, you come home and you know, Uncle Philip said, because somebody told me I'll have
Uncle Philip.
Uncle Philip.
You know, they said, you and Uncle Philip, you and Uncle Philip. I said, no problem. Everybody deserves an Uncle Philip.
Yeah.
You know, and you can come in, take your shoe off, and you can go. This is family here. You know, and you know, our policies are really, really, you know, Trinidad, I implore you, if you have not gotten one of these as yet, you know,
Check it out.
check it out.
Right.
This is full proof. This is, you know, you can't buy this anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what's going to bring this country, as we say, reboot.
Your message to Trinidad and Tobago.
Reboot.
Reboot. Reboot the Republic.
Reboot the Republic.
And you're saying, as a citizen, you think that these policies make sense to you without a doubt.
Without a doubt. This is practical. When I give these out, I say this is something that's practical.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And how was the feedback when you actually walk the streets?
There's a feedback now. I've been, my constituency, as I've always said, is red country. But you know, I'm getting a lot of people that are thinking more.
Right, good.
You know, and I think that's what we want.
That's what we
Yeah,
want.
that's exactly.
Thinking. You know,
That's right.
I give them to some ladies, and they took a mark, and they said, all right, let me see, you know, let's see.
How to be ladies, huh?
Yeah, you know, and then of course, you know, what would interest them.
Right.
What, you know, what would directly interest them. And, you know,
Right.
they circle, you know, home ownership and all these sorts of things, and they say, you know, this is, can you do this? I said, yeah, we could.
Yeah.
There's only one way to do this. You all know I'm heading
Yeah, together.
together.
That's right.
And that's why we make ourselves available here. I mean, we could record ourselves rather than having to say it all the time. It's like we're here, 19 San Juan Avenue, every single Saturday. If you want to debate us, come down, criticize us, do whatever. It is yours to do so.
Yeah.
That's what
Yes.
it's out there
Yes.
for.
Yes.
If you can't read, right, and that's the thing, I mean, it's a shame, but the thing is, that's how you access understanding information power. And you need to do that. If you want to get water, if you want to get food, if you don't want to get shot, if you don't want to get robbed, you have to learn to read and you have to empower yourself. And Anthony, I just want to commend you. And I mean, Christoph, I mean, you came along in the
Long
earlies,
time,
right?
yeah, long
You came
time.
along in the earlies, right? But I mean,
Take a while to get push on.
Yeah.
Take a while.
but I mean,
They wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
no, but I mean, how you were at the beginning, and even now, so
Right.
people would think, you know, that we have a lot of yes men and women, and the truth is that
No,
that's
no,
not the
no.
case. If anybody knows Christoph Samlal, you would know that he's one of the biggest thorns, you know, in Uncle Philip's side when
Correct,
he's ready,
correct.
right? And then Philip is the one who actually says so more than anything. So, I mean, how is it that you see yourself, you know, in the Progressive Empowerment Party fitting in, even though, you know, you are not somebody who came on here as a yes?
Right. Well, first of all, I never cared for politics. Never cared for politics or anything.
Yeah.
What drew me to PEP was the protest we did for the Cybercrime Bill Act.
Yeah, I remember.
Right? When I was reading, because I was doing my own research as a photographer and someone involved in the media, I wanted to see the repercussions that it will have on us, right? And when I saw the Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago put out their press release that it would actually stifle the free media, I thought to myself, I need to stand up. This is what I do. And I have a lot of faith in what social media can do for disseminating information to the public. So hearing that they wanted to stifle that, I said I had to stand up. And the only people I see standing up was PP.
Yeah.
And when I went down was when I started following it a little more. And
Yeah.
I was like, you know, everything else makes sense. I might not like for the personality.
Yeah.
I'm not here for the personality. I'm here for the politics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
love
the
that.
politics
Yeah.
that was sold to me, you know.
Yeah.
And since then, I've been trying to help as much as I could, you know.
Well said. Trinidad, you heard that, eh? It's not about the personality. But listen, give us a call now. It's 469-4349. Again, that number is 469-4349. Give us a call, have your say, let's interact, let's hear what you're thinking out there. Discussion is going sweet. We have our caretakers from both Morvant and Barataria areas. Constituencies, I should say, and again, they're giving us insight on what's happening on the ground, you know. So again, that number is 469-4349. Give a call. Don't be shy. Make it happen, Trinidad. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the policies made sense, and for you
Right.
guys, it's what was the catalyst to actually push you on board and let you gravitate towards this direction. Yes.
Yeah. Well, for me, number 18 stood out a lot as well.
Number 18.
Which
Number 18. No more mega contractors.
Ah, I
Right.
liking that.
I like that idea because you see too much overnight millionaires, and then you see too much work being held back because
Oh.
they can't hand the contract
Alright,
over.
Wait a minute. I think we have a low
because-
call coming in. You want to answer that?
Sure. Hi, good night. You're on Frontline.
Hi, good night.
Hi.
Great show, guys, so far. I would just like to make a few comments because I'm from the San Juan Barataria constituency as well.
Okay.
Okay. We were talking about
Let's see if we get the-
security and crime, unemployment. But one major concern I have personally is the condition of the roads and the flooding, the environmental concerns in the area. A lot of companies, a lot of littering with, biohazards and stuff within the area, and no one to safely, take care and get like proper waste disposal mechanisms to get rid of, like chicken guts and all these.
Chicken guts, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Within the San Juan market area, I know, and well, you tend to get like this really, really rough stench coming out of the area, and is a matter of environmental pollution, as I would like to call it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Well, the solution to pollution is dilution, as we say, and well, plastic waste is another major issue within
That's
the
another
area.
policy.
Because, it leads to flooding and it has the place looking so horrible. Look, just, I think, Wednesday night, we had a little rain and the area was looking so beautiful without, all the bottles on the side of the road. But we know we're going into the major waterways. And that is a huge, public health concern, as I see it, because I'm in the healthcare
Sector.
occupation.
Okay.
So, and that is my major concern. Well, I have a few others as well, like food production and stuff. I think we as a country, together, we could possibly, get our economy running on food production. It is a variable of diversification as we need to use. And we can export and make money for this country.
Yes.
Right. That's true. So
Right? As basic as it sounds.
all right. Well, thank you for the call, and thank you for the insight. Right.
No problem,
So
guys. Thank you and have a good night.
Same to you.
You too.
Having
Thank you.
another call. Hi. Good night. You're on Frontline.
Good night to everyone.
Good
Hi, good
night.
night.
And this is Jean-Claude here.
Hi,
Hi, good.
Jean-Claude.
Jean-Claude, JC.
Hi, right.
JC.
So I just want to say to anyone listening who thinks PEP is like just when you say the yes man party, nothing could be further from, well, that is actually totally incorrect. Because nobody could have been more cynical than me. Right? It took me an entire year to get on board with PEP. I could tell you, me and Philip had it out on Facebook for a very long time.
I remember that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Right. But there comes a point in time where you have to be honest with yourself and admit that the way the country going now, it is in total you know what. Right?
Yes.
And TNM and UNC cannot afford to win the next election. So it's either this or nothing. Right? I want to say to Christoph and Anthony, you all are doing an amazing job with the Facebook pages. People go and like those Facebook pages, Progressive Empowerment Party, San Juan Barataria, and Morvant. Just want to say you all are doing a tremendous job.
Yes, you all are.
Right? I really enjoyed this tonight's episode of Frontline, touching on some major issues. I didn't even know that San Juan Barataria experienced all those problems. So thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah,
Right?
that's serious. I hope not.
I just want to say one thing. I want to say that I'm really glad the price for oil raised this week. Because I don't know what Imbus would have talked about in our budget. You're very nice.
You
Hi,
too.
Jean-Claude. Thank you.
You win with that one, bro.
We need to have Jean-Claude on the show. We need to have Jean-Claude on the show.
Definitely. A future show for sure.
Right.
For sure, for sure. But again, you know, it all does not make sense up until, again, when Mr. Alexander decided to put a lot of this information into the public space. I think, again, this is what Trinidadians needed to really know what their rights were, what the laws of this country stand for, and just basically, you know, your right as a citizen, period.
Right.
You know, one of the key things that we say within the PEP as a tagline is, you know, the purpose and function of government is the well-being of the citizenry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if they are not doing that, then you
Pack up shop.
You have to pack up
Change
shop.
your job.
This
You
is it.
know, take it.
Vote them
Fire
out.
yourself. But the thing is, if they doing nothing, how they could fire themselves? You understand? It's up to us to fire them.
No, but you see, the bad part about what our population has been dealing with for 50 plus years is that there has not been a true third option or another option outside of the UNC or PNM.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's why people simply do the ping pong game, is from one hand to the next, constantly. You know, we thought we had some hope when COP came into play, but again, COP was basically part of the same cloth of the UNC.
Yeah, that was my biggest heartbreak.
Yeah, it was because we thought that we did have some level of hope.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because they talk a good talk, you know, but again, when the time to walk, you know, it's like everybody forget the shoes. You know what I mean? And that was not cool because they, as a political entity, hurt a lot of Trinidadians, especially the ones who were non-voters who decided to make a vote that particular year, only to come in mid-flight in that tenure of time. They're just basically doing the same thing. They're doing the same thing as what the other parties were doing and being a part of.
But the things what even more infuriating in terms of to make it more specific, right, and more personal in terms of what you say. The representatives and the MPs for both of these constituencies have been long-standing in terms of where the seat goes to now.
Correct.
So it means that they have always have continuity, right?
In those constituencies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when
Correct.
exactly what one of the callers was saying was that you honestly had no idea that some of Barataria had so many problems.
Right. I mean, the people live comfortably because they're naive to what goes on around them, or they choose to be ignorant to what goes on around them.
Right.
But like the questions I ask myself is, okay, so we address where the drugs are, where these things are.
Right.
What's the next step? The police are the people who needs to intervene. Okay, they bought out. What do we do next, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, I'm thinking this is the MP's job to represent the 25,000 of South Barataria and say, listen, my constituents believe that our police stations are corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
Get something done. Move them out, cycle them out, right to the Minister of National Security, the head of the Security Council, Mr. Rowley himself. Just get it done. Actively represent the voice of your constituents. That's your only job. Right? And your job is to do that, take that 25,000 voices and put it towards the rest in government. And we don't get that.
Exactly. And you can't say that you don't know because you've been in power for so
correct.
long.
For example, Mova and Lavender has been PNM, and we had a meeting and I said they have been PNM since the inception.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, they have never gone anything else except PNM. And, you know, I fell into the trap of, you know, you just go in the vote and PNM and you come out.
Right.
But I'm thinking about it now. Like you said,
Right.
you know, I was never into politics, but, you know, when I saw the policies and I stumbled upon it really, I stumbled upon it and I said, well, no, this guy was in my head.
Yeah, Philip.
Yeah, that's what you said. And,
Uncle Philip.
and I was like, ooh, I think I have a new Uncle Phil, as I said.
I thought the man was a Obia man, boy.
I mean,
You know, minds
I
right
say now the man, but the man say anything word for word.
Word for word.
Word for
I
word.
mean, they have, you know, and what I employ Lavender, East and Morvant to think. You have to start to think now because we've been PNM for 50-something years, 56 years, I think, in Benham, and we are no better for it.
You still have dirty water, dirty
Yeah.
clothes, you're still hungry. I mean, you still have to
drugs,
resort.
you still have
So
to
I have all the issues. All
Everything
the
is
issues.
just the same, and we just can't.
It's getting worse,
continue.
actually. It's not
we
even the
can't
same.
continue. You know, with the same PNM. You know, it's enough is enough.
We can't like it so Trinidad.
We had any musical chairs in Parliament.
Can't
'cause
like
they,
it,
they
so-
all in there doing the same thing, switching sides and just
That's
having
right.
the same banter with nothing.
And
to do
again,
with
Philip says the entire executive say the first law that we want to broker 100,000 of our citizens in front of that parliament is recall.
And you know what? They should actually do it before 2020. So if we win, it will already be in place. So if we do perform, so if they think smart, they would actually put it in place.
But this is it. This is it. So Trinidad and Tobago, if you have a doubt in your mind, you will have the opportunity to fire this administration in the event that we do not make the grade and we don't stand by the
promises.
The promises that we place for the time and tenure that we are supposed to be within office. It is your will, it is your power, it is you who are the ones that's running this country and giving us the direction in which we need to go, where we need to take you. We can't be blind about this. So this is why we say constantly, every Saturday, 12 noon, come down to 19 Stanmore Avenue, have your voices heard, your concerns heard, meet the executive, question this policies, question it,
exactly.
right? Question it, every single one. This is just 21. This is just 21. We're looking at, for the first 5 years that we would like in administration to address and to bring sanity to. It's just 21, and this is just for the first 5 years.
And if you want copies of it, you want access to it, okay, we'll stick up in there because we get on a call.
Yeah.
Right? Hi, good night. You're on Frontline.
Hello, good night.
Good night.
Night, night.
Hi, good night. Just calling in to let the guys know you're doing a wonderful job tonight.
Thank you.
I just hope that the people of Trinidad and Tobago already wake up to save Trinidad and Tobago and give Trinidad and Tobago a real chance. And the only chance, my message to the people tonight is that we have to vote for change and vote for the Progressive Empowerment Party. So once again, good job guys, and
thank you, Derek, and thank you for the live earlier this evening. And that is the kind of activism that we want, that comes about from critical thinking. And if it is that you want to get started and try to figure out where the Progressive Empowerment Party coming from, you can get the 21 policies at a glance on Facebook, from our Facebook page. You can get it in hard copy at Stanmore Avenue, and you can also reach out to our executives, because our executives, they actually have physical copies on them. So you just need to find out where they are and you'll get a copy in your hand if you can't access it on your computer or you don't want it that way. So Anthony, he has a lot done in Central. You can check Limon McLeod Wilkinson for Port of Spain. You can check head office. You can even check Christoph, for San Juan, and you can check Anthony, for in that area.
These are constituency caretakers,
Right, and we will be featuring more and more of our caretakers so that you will know and you will be introduced to the people who actually care and concern and who actually be working towards. So you're critically going to be thinking and addressing, the characters and reputations of these people too, because you're putting your life and your future in these people's hands. And we have no problem taking on that challenge. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here tonight. You understand? So, I don't know.
Alright, well, they can find this on the San Juan PEP page as well. And like she said, if you have any disagreements with it, hit it straight to me. Right, let's get the answers. My page was guarded towards discussion and finding solutions, addressing problems. So hit up our page and let's get it done as a country together.
Wonderful. Well, Christopher, again, Trinidad, time just flies and again, it's just so much to talk about. We will never have enough time, especially in one session, to be able to address everything.
Which is why we have a Frontline every Thursday at 8.
There you go. That's right. Most definitely. So, again, I would want us to actually close off on the show, and I invite Anthony for your closing remarks as to,
Yes, Frontline has been really, really excellent so far. We have done good. I've been tuning every night myself.
Okay.
And, I'm just wondering what happened to the East. And if I can speak for San Juan also, we have work to do. And we intend to hit it hard and get it done.
Alright, Christoph?
Well said, Christoph.
All I would like to do is encourage everyone, anytime I get a platform to speak to a lot of people, I encourage everyone, talk about politics. It's not anything to be stigmatized. We all live by it, might as well talk it, find problems, find solutions, and get it working better. So, even if you don't agree with PEP, even if you're not sold on any other political party, have discussions and we'll find the answer sooner or later.
Well said. Well said. Sarah.
I just want to thank you all for coming on board, and I just want to say that it was very enlightening. You know, it was heartbreaking, but it was very much needed to understand and get a critical needs analysis and on the ground conversation going, right? And starting to dig deep in terms of it. And in terms of if you want to hear anything more and you see, continue talking with the Progressive Empowerment Party, you can come down this Saturday from 12 noon at 19 San Juan Avenue and meet the executive. Myself will be here together with Tony, and then we have an Uncle Phil will be here, right? So if you have any specific questions and concerns, you can come down and you can bring it there as well, right? So, and I want to thank Janice and Felicia, you know, for giving us the opportunity to be here and talk to them.
Yes.
You know, we took it on, you know, very solemnly, right? And we just want you all to get better and feel better and have fun out there.
Yes, and I second that motion. Both Felicia and Janice, we were missing here.
Yeah.
Felicia, don't forget our gifts, huh? For Trinidad and Tobago, once again, I thank you so much for tuning in to the Frontline for tonight's edition, and I extend great thanks to Christoph as well as Anthony and Sarah. And you know, it was just very informative, especially knowing exactly what's happening on the ground within San Juan, Barataria, as well as the Laventil Mova area. And again, as the shows go on within the weeks, we are going to be inviting a lot more of our constituency caretakers, so you can hear for yourself as at least one, meet who they are, two, know what's happening on the ground in their constituencies, and three, possibly having a game plan as to how we're going to roll things out and moving forward within those constituencies, how those things are going to be addressed and so on. So again, don't forget, come down every noon on Saturday, 19 Stanmore Avenue. That's our head office, and we have our public meetings here, and you know, come here, have your voice heard.
Meet
again,
the team.
That's right, meet the team. And also, don't forget, every Tuesday at 8 p.m. it's the 411. It's you know, a little humor in the mix of things. So definitely, you know, we want to highlight a lot of public figures as well as members of the executive within the PEP that you can see and recognize as that these are regular people just like you and I. And again, it's not rocket science to bring real change. It's just a matter of us coming together and uniting as one people under one flag, and that's what we really stand for.
Exactly.
So again, Trinidad and Tobago, thank you very much.
Good night.
Have a good night. Anthony Defoe, Sarah Nabi,
Christoph and Anthony Pollidore. Be safe, Trinidad and Tobago.
There we go.
Good night.
Have a good one.